Good morning. Permaculture. Permaculture and race. What does race have to do with permaculture? Does it have anything to do with permaculture? This is a question that's been brought up on a couple of permaculture groups. And many who get into permaculture are not getting into it out of concerns for race, equality, social justice, or anything even remote to that, to those causes. Frankly, when I was interested in permaculture, I was trying to garden and grow food, and I realized that there may be a better way out there. There may be a way to work with nature to get the best yields, to get the most produce, to be the best on the land. And it didn't really cross my mind about the other aspects of permaculture. But as I read and as I studied, I realized permaculture is about a lot more than just getting good yields out of the crops we plant by paying attention to nature, by mimicking nature, by following the rules of nature, and by not raping the land. Permaculture is a combination of permanent agriculture and permanent culture. It's a way to sustain, and it's a way to regenerate our lands, our habitats, our environments. The reason why this is important, if we look around, we have done a pretty good job of raping and abusing our lands. The aquifers are drying up. We're depleting forests. We're not doing a great job. There's a lot to be learned about paying attention to the animals, paying attention to nature. Here's one right here, as a matter of fact. Mimicking those things that work and moving away from those things that don't. Well, if we're talking about treating the environment well, key factor in the environment is not just flora, not just the soil, but it's also fauna. All of the critters. Well, that includes humans. And if we've been exploiting certain people, if we've been exploiting the poor, if we haven't been sharing, if we haven't been being fair, we need to examine ourselves. We need to take a look at ourselves. Unfortunately, if we look at history, many times the human being, if left to personal desires, if not being completely self-aware, if not examining the self, we tend to be selfish. We tend to look out for our own interests. Probably a little bit of xenophobia in there, a little bit of fear, a little bit of me getting mine, taking care of my own, providing for me. I want to make sure I have what I need. Well, there's another way to look at history, I think. As much as competition has played a key part, I think community and working together has played an even bigger part. But back to the question that prompted this video, permaculture and race. I was a courier for many years after I left the car business. And I've been to a lot of neighborhoods, a lot of different types of neighborhoods, Georgia and Florida. And there's disparities. When I think about the U.S. emerging as an industrial nation, as a world power, 1880s, 1890s, pre-World War I, and then on through World War II, I look at how this nation was built. 19th century, 18th century, this great cotton empire was built in the South, agricultural empire. largely on the backs of free and exploited labor, African slaves. I look at the neighborhoods today, you can see the trickle-down effect of these industries. Huge disparities. The neighborhoods, while in some metric you can say they're getting better, the wealth is being spread out a little bit better, it's a far cry from what it needs to be, from what it should be. The highway systems as they were developed, the freeway systems, dividing the neighborhoods, justice serving the interest of the richer. And that is something that has been talked about, written in text, Socrates, Plato, Aristotle, as far back as we can go. Justice serves the interest of the richer. The laws are enacted to protect those with wealth. Well, I think we can do better than that. I think we can do a lot better than that, and I think permaculture, one of the key core values and principles in permaculture is fair share, earth care, people care. This is all the people. This is we the people. This is all people. We all deserve a shot at food. We all deserve a shot at decent neighborhoods, of taking care of each other. Permaculture is a step in this right direction. So one of the reasons I am now even more so interested in it than I was before. We have to do a better job of taking care of each other, people. Let's not be so afraid of our neighbors. Let's share the skills we develop. Let's share the food. We can make this place better, but we got to keep ourselves in check. Let's do this with permaculture. Give it a shot.